The hoe phase is sometimes voluntary, sometimes involuntary, but the chicks who engage in the hoe phase, they usually realize it's not good for them after the damage is already done.
Hmm.
There's no unwriting that history. There's no undoing that. So
Right.
you're the one that kind of introduced me to this concept of hoe phase that I really didn't understand until
Right.
earlier last year about summertime. You want to go into a little breakdown because that's what we're going to talk about today. So what I'm going to give you full screen here. You just tell the
Okay.
guys what is the hoe phase.
All right. So the whole phase is basically when the guys hear me say that or they hear other people say it, they think it's like, oh, well, she had sex with the whole basketball team. It's basically a woman living in a way that, you know, would be considered a hoe. And what I mean by that is she may go through a period that's, that's not, I don't want to say not normal for her, but generally women for the most part of their lives would rather stick to one dude, right? But there
Yes.
comes a phase to where, and I believe that it's biology, but I'll get into that in a second. But there comes a period in a woman's life to where biology wise and like mentality wise, they want to kind of cash in on the attention from different guys, right?
Mhm.
So again, she may not be getting trains ran on her, but she's dating two or three guys at the same time. She fucked him today, and then she's fucking him tomorrow, and she dating these two guys for 6 months. Or she's more open to casual sex. She's going down to Miami and she'll have casual sex, you know, for the weekend, go back home and live her life. Or she may have a boyfriend and be cheating on the boyfriend. You understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Basically dealing with more than one guy at the same time. And they go through this phase, almost like exploring, figuring themselves out, testing the market, you know, um, trying new things, exploring their sexuality, blah, 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 blah. Right. So whatever they do that's not natural, and again, I don't want to say natural, but not normal, right, to them, because most sane girls for the majority of their life just are okay with one guy.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like the whole hypergamy thing, and they just want to always trade up, and it's not really.
Not real.
It don't really work like that. Now they do want you to be ambitious. They do want you to be, they want to feel like they have the best bang for their buck, right? Which is sane, really.
Right.
Everybody should feel like that, but they not they're gonna just monkey branch and monkey branch. Women are not like that. Once a woman finds something she's comfortable with that she likes, you
Yep.
know, once she get to a certain level of maturity, if she can keep that forever, she would.
Mhm.
Women are creatures of like comfort and familiarity, right? So whenever a woman is outside of operating like that, she's in a whole phase, whether it
Right.
be 50 dudes or two or three dudes. And most women go through a stage to where they dating around, they cashing out on their beauty, they cashing out on the attention, the sexual attention that they're getting from men, and they're getting something out of it, the nice trips, the dinners, the attention, and all of this. And this usually happens somewhere between the ages of 18 to 24.
Mhm.
Women go through this phase because
Mhm.
this is where, and this is why I say it's like biology, right? This is where they're most fertile, right?
Mm. Right.
And so what happens when women are fertile and then they ovulate? It's almost out of their control. So now you got, you're fertile, you ovulate, you seeing guys who's sexy. So it's time to mate, basically. Um, and that's just on a biological level. But when you think about like mentally and society, it's like, okay, I want to cash out, or not, consciously. When you think of it on a conscious level, I want to get this, I want to get this out of this dude, I want to explore this, but underneath the hood is basically it's time to mate. So
Right.
you usually see this phase around this time. Most women the women who don't go through it at this time will go through it at some point, especially in these types of societies. And I think in other societies, it's just more hidden,
Mhm.
right? Um, you see it a lot, like, you get a girl who's been married since she was 18, she divorced at 27, she's the biggest hoe because
Mm.
they have to like get it out of their system, just like we have to, like how a man a man like, it's like, damn, I wish I could have did this. Damn, it's too late. And they get 40 and they wish they would have been able to cash out on you know, they would have cashed out on, being able to date young hot chicks and learn women and shit like that. It's the same for women, but it's not about sex for women. It's about the attention and getting, right? So a lot of women wish they can, if they didn't go through that phase, they desire to do so. And it's not the desire to have sex, it's the desire to basically conquer men. You understand what I'm saying? But what happens when you attempt to conquer men gonna conquer you. So sex is not for real, right?
I know. I'm just laughing at the irony of it all.
Sex is the byproduct of them seeking that type of attention.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so what I'm saying is most women are gonna go through that. It may not be, they may not rack up 30 bodies, 50 bodies, 100, but they will, if they told you the things that they did, it would make you uncomfortable during this period. Some women go through it for 6 months. Some women go through it for 2-3 years or whatever while they're in college. Eventually they grow out of it though. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Eventually they grow out of it. But
and let the guys know why they grow out of it, if you don't mind.
It's just maturity, bro. It's just
maturity. It was taking the L's and realizing like it doesn't make them feel good.
Right. So yeah, it's we could say maturity, right? But when you dig deeper, it's nothing tangible. Like you didn't win in the end because you just men are just taking from you basically, and you taking the L's, really. Yeah. You understand? Now, the women who go through this phase and they leverage their sex and they leverage their pussy and they can profit off of it and make a good living and shit like that, they'll stay in it forever until, they super mature, right? But even then, at some point, like Selena Powell, come to the realization that she wants a family. But, they get to a point after a certain amount of time, it's like, damn, I ain't really getting nothing out of this. Like, not nothing that I value anyway. I ain't getting no money. Dudes ain't taking care of me or nothing. Like, they come to a realization that they taking L's, then they mature and their values start to shift. When we get older, their brains start to fully function. Like, our brains aren't really fully developed until 25, bro. Like all of us, you know what I'm saying? Right. So once they start to reach that peak and you take all of these things into account, it's like, okay, I need to chill out. Yeah. But the girls who cashing out on it tend to stay in it a little bit longer because they can get tangible things like, this dude bought me a car. This dude is paying my fucking rent. That tends to keep women, in that shit for longer. Or like if it's some type of trauma issues, where the sex and the attention from guys are like kind of numbing something or making something better or making something feel better, those women tend to delay it. But most healthy, normal women are going to, at some point in their life, go through that.
So you think it's inevitable every woman will go through a whole phase?
Nowadays, yeah.
Regardless?
Nowadays, yeah. Even I think they did it back then. It's just because if you read the Art of Seduction, it talks about shit like this. Not necessarily whole phases, but those desires that women had, right? Like, oh shit, my damn thing on. Those desires that women had, and certain guys were the only guys who were able to cash out on that. And everything it wasn't under wraps. I mean, it wasn't like broadcast. Like women were more ladylike with it, like lady in the streets, freak in the sheets type of shit. But yeah, I believe at some point every woman is going to go through a phase to where she desires male sexual attention. That's basically what that means. But the byproduct of that is going to be some of these dudes gonna fuck. You understand what I'm saying? So, if they don't go through it from like 18 to 24 or whatever, usually trauma, like when they get out of a breakup. So a lot of guys make the mistake, they wife up girls at 18, then they keep them. Then at 27, they break up and it's just like, she get crazy, she get wild for a little bit. That happens, or, if you get weak in a relationship or, the woman ain't really like you like that, you have all of these desires and all of this shit. A lot of guys are have the unfortunate situation of their girl going through the whole phase while they with them. But I tell young guys, don't get into relationships with younger chicks because you, as a young guy, you don't have what it takes to put that on lock, you know. And a lot of girls that age don't really even want a relationship for the sake of building families and shit like that. It's basically a consistent source of validation, really.
Right.
You understand? I did a video on TikTok that kind of went wild, but if you look at the comments on the post, most women agreed with me.
Which one was it?
Women under a certain age are only in relationships for validation. It's not to build. So stay away from women like that. Ironically, most women that saw that video commented was like, "This is true."